Hi, hey. That sounded funny. How are you? Thanks for the likes, guys. How is everyone tonight? Hello. Hi from Pittsburgh. I'm drinking tea. Hi from Wyoming. Hi from Philly. Oh yeah, I uploaded that, Mara. I was actually just listening to that myself. I was listening to a lot. I do listen to my videos a lot, and I have to go through some of my old videos. Like, you know, I kind of like, it's nice to see how far, like how much you grow, right? Being that I make TikToks and I make videos and YouTube videos, it's amazing to see how much I've grown, right? When you keep on doing this inner work and you keep releasing resistance, releasing what doesn't serve you, everything changes. Just even the way you go about this and the way you understand this and your clarity along the way. So one of my old videos popped up. It might have been one of my first videos on YouTube. I was even talking about YouTube. Like, it's just so funny listening to myself. And what I say is completely different to what I say today, and understanding this because you get more clear. But it was just cool. And I have the one from yesterday. I'll post that. The thing about uploading the videos, the TikTok lives, is that it takes forever. So I try to do it in the morning, and I'll let it, like, it just takes a while. First I have to download it and then upload it, and it just takes a while. So I'll get the one from yesterday up also, and I'm just going to keep on uploading them. For a while it wasn't letting me. I don't know why. There was like a pause. Yes, just keep doing that, Mara. I'm telling you right now, Mara, all you have to do, the only thing you have to do is relax into that resistance. Just keep relaxing into that resistance. Just know that on the other side of that resistance is everything that you want, okay? Listening, if listening to those videos is helping you stay relaxed, then that's going to help you too. But just know that, because that's all we have to do. We don't have to do anything to manifest, right? Because it's already done. Everything you want is already done. The only thing we're doing is releasing resistance. What is resistance? It's all the thoughts that don't serve you. It's all the unfavorable thoughts. On the other side of all those unfavorable thoughts is everything that you want. So just keep it as simple as possible. What we're doing is we're just relaxing into those uncomfortable, because they are uncomfortable, feelings. We're just relaxing into them. The thing about resistance is that people are so afraid of resistance, so they start reacting to it. They get upset, they get frustrated. Why isn't this working? And our thoughts create our reality, so we keep creating what we don't want. Instead, what we have to do when we have that resistance, which is unfavorable thoughts that don't feel good, we need to rest into it. We need to stay quiet. We need to keep it to ourselves. We need to focus on our breathing. We need to remind ourselves that everything's okay. It's all working in our favor. And that's all you have to do. And you just want to continue doing that practice. So Zoe, are you having trouble sleeping, or is it because of your kids that you can't sleep, or are you just having trouble getting to sleep? Hi, BB. Hi, Christine. We're talking about manifesting, power of dark. Hi, Bruce. How are you? I'm good. Just listening to your videos. Oh, Mara, I'm so happy. Trust me, you're going to get everything you want, Mara. I promise you. So Zoe, what really started working for me, I was having trouble sleeping for a while. I started getting back into my the fan noise that I listen to, or you're part of our Facebook group, right? The fan noise that and what you have to keep doing is you either have to keep focusing on the sound or focusing on the dark in your mind. If you keep directing your focus to that, whether it be the dark when you close your eyes or just the noise, and keep going back to the noise, the sound noise, you're gonna fall asleep. You're just gonna get tired out from doing that. So just try that out for me and let me know. Try it out. No matter what you do, people are variables. You cannot control the world around you. You can't control the world around you, but you can control how you respond to the world around you. It's not, you can't control things outside of you, but you can control how you react to things. So that's key, and that's when everything will start changing around you, when you stop reacting to the world outside of you. I need an article. And guess what, guys? I'm writing another ebook that quick. So I wrote the ebook, Feel Good to Manifest, Feel Good, Stay Calm to Manifest. And I just put that one out. And I said to myself that I have no desire to write another ebook, but I have been so clear on so many things, and I've released like so much resistance. Like I feel like I want to say almost all my resistance. I always say that, but you're always growing and expanding, so there's always more. But I had so much clarity. I'm making my ebook, this one's going to be 100% on releasing resistance, releasing unfavorable thoughts. It's going to be all about that. Yes, how it's out. My book's out. Thank you. I don't know how to say your name right. SNY? I don't want to say it wrong. I was listening to my live, and I'm listening to me say all these people's names. And I'm like, oh, thanks, money, and thanks, like certain people's names. Like, they're not names. People just have it was just really funny listening to that. Yes, alignment. Yeah, it's out. So you just click on the link. You can click on my link, and it's literally the first thing there. It'll take you right to it. And guys, give me feedback on it. Give me feedback, please. Hi, Sunny. So I'm going to, so my next one that I actually already started it. I'm on the second page. And it's going to be all about releasing resistance and focus just on that. I'm going to make this one even more right to the point. Let me know, Zoe. Hi from Seattle. No, it wasn't like the names that stood out. It was just that, when I'm responding to people's questions and their comments and stuff, I'm saying their names on here, and no, not everyone has just a regular name. Yeah, thank you. They're actually my daughter's flowers, but they're so pretty. They have sparkles on them. So yeah, so Zoe, okay, I'm just checking. I already responded to you. Of course you can follow me. I don't know if you're still on here, but you can't let others punk you, though. So, yeah, so I don't know what you meant by that. You can't let others punk you. Nobody can actually hurt you in your reality. When you understand, it's literally just your thoughts. You create your own reality, right? Yes, there are other components, but it's how you're responding to those things. So if you just respond calmly, quietly, kindly, like I always say, just always be kind. I'm telling you, always be kind. I had something that happened today with my daughter, and we went to we were at our fast food place, our regular place, and our regular girl wasn't there. The one we're like friends. I see her all the time, and it was someone else, and she was in a mood, right? And I always stay pleasant, and I just don't acknowledge it, and I'm always kind no matter what. But my daughter caught on, and she goes, "What was her problem?" And I said it was her problem, not ours. I said we were kind, and we left that in a good place. So it was something that was bothering her, not us, right? So just teaching her in that moment never to take anything personally, always respond with kindness no matter what, and you leave it right there and you move on. And she got it, and it clicked for her. So it was such a good moment for her to like experience that with me, and to let her know you just never take things personally, right? You never know what someone's going through, and you never know if they may not even mean it the way you're perceiving it. So you just always be kind, and you leave everything right there where it's at. You don't take it with you, and you just move on, and you stay kind. So remember, like Nikki, when you're saying, how do I deal with feelings of unworthiness? That is resistance. They're unfavorable thoughts. So your practice is going to be the same thing that I always tell everyone. It's anytime you don't feel good, it's an unfavorable thought, which is resistance, and they don't feel good, right? So in those moments, you're going to practice releasing resistance. You're going to practice remaining very calm, staying silent, keeping those moments to yourself, right? And breathing slower and relaxing into that as much as possible. Don't be afraid of it. Just relax into the discomfort because it's not comfortable. And again, stay silent, and you're going to be releasing those unfavorable thoughts, right? And then on the other side of that is your worthiness. So you just keep doing these practices, Nikki, and you're going to be led to everything that you want. Oh, Mike, I love Les Brown. I listened to Les Brown so much, and it was because I really just thought he was funny. I liked his sense of humor, and obviously he was so positive, and I loved his stories. He was one of my favorite teachers, one of my favorite preachers. I don't know, what would you call it? Motivational speaker, I guess. Oh, thank you. Yes, and alignment. It's so true. Yeah, Superior, all that candy back there. The best candy back there is the bag. I found a bag of the all pink Starbursts that I've been eating. It's the only thing I'm eating in there. My kids like all like that sour stuff, and like I'm not into any of that. Hi, Patrick. I know, Mike, love wins always, and it's because that's our true nature. Our true nature is to feel good. So I've gotten to a point where explaining this to you guys and even understanding it myself is that when you're feeling good, you're in alignment, right? So you don't really have to do anything when it comes to that, because that's your true nature, and you'll just be flowing through life. You want to make it more about when you're not feeling good, right? And you'll catch those moments because you're not feeling good. And you don't have to try to figure it out. So if you're ever dropping in a lower energy, you just know that that's a thought that doesn't serve you. That's a story that doesn't serve you. And that's when you want to practice releasing resistance. And that's what my new book's going to be about. So this one I'm really excited about, because it's going to be like really manifesting the most easiest way possible, because I want to remind everyone that you don't have to do anything at all to manifest, guys. You do nothing. You do no affirmations. That causes more resistance, and you don't have to do it, because what you want is done. I always say it's already written. The story's already written. You don't have to do anything. You're being led to it in this very moment. The only thing you're doing is releasing the thoughts that don't serve you, right? You're releasing what doesn't serve you. That's all you're doing. So you want to make it just about releasing resistance, and that's it. That's going to lead you to everything. Yes, Mike, right? And then you're able to be good for everybody else around you when you do that. So Sunny, what I'm going to tell, and I'm going to have this in the new book. I'm going to write exactly. This is how you're going to release resistance, okay? And I'm going to put all this stuff in here. I have so many things that are going to help you guys. So start a meditation practice. Keep it extremely simple. Add breath work when you're in those moments where you feel like you're panicking and you start to panic and you have that anxiety. But another thing, and this is really important, stay away from a lot of things that you can stay away from. You can stay away from social media. You can stay away from the news. You can say no to a lot of things that you used to say yes to. Do that for a while. Do that for a while to focus on yourself. You need to focus on yourself as much as you can. So if you can say no to a lot of things, say no. That's the only time you want to use your discipline and willpower. Yes, your world's going to be really quiet for a while, but it's going to be so worth it, because you're going to release all the things that don't serve you. And then you're going to let all the things that you've been asking for your whole life, including your manifestations, in. And you don't have to do anything to let them in, because that's going to be automatic. But that's still a part of this. That's releasing resistance, Sunny. It doesn't matter the story. The story doesn't matter. I always knew that deep down. So I had released so much stuff. I can't tell you how many stories, unfavorable stuff I had to release so much resistance in my life. My whole world got flipped upside down. So I know this works. I know how this works. You have to practice staying calm in those moments, Sunny, and in any topic, in any areas of your life that don't feel good, and it will work in your favor, I promise you. But this just takes a little bit of practice, because we're so quick to speak about it, we're so quick to vent about it, we're so quick to tell our friends about it and say, why is this happening to me? But that's what keeps it active, because your thoughts create your reality. So just always remind yourself that your thoughts create your reality. Yes, Ava. It's not about letting it in, it's about letting go what doesn't serve you, Nikki, because when you let go of what doesn't serve you, it's automatically just going to come in. It's automatic, right? You've been asking for things your whole entire life. You've been asking for more money, you've been asking to have better relationships, you've been asking to be happy. You've been asking for this your whole entire life. And you may have gotten more specific along the way, because when we find out we create our own reality, we're just like asking for all these things. It doesn't matter. It's done, okay? How you let it in is by letting go of what doesn't serve you, letting go of the opposite. That's it. That will all fall into place. Hustling and all of that, I know, because I've been there too. Trust me. Because what happens is you're going to be doing things. It's not like, what I've learned is that you're doing things that you love to do, right? I was doing things that for other people, like doing jobs that weren't fulfilling me, right? I was doing the hustle thing, working so long, doing little side things, and none of it was bringing in a sufficient amount of income. I was like working my butt off and not making any money, right? And what this transition does is, by releasing resistance, releasing what doesn't serve you, is it brings in what's actually meant for you, Nikki. So you're going to start doing things that you love, like me writing these books and sticking to something, not even sticking to something, because I didn't stick to it. This all flowed very natural for me. Making TikToks. I love learning about this kind of stuff. Not even learning, I love diving deep into my emotions and resistance. One thing will lead to the next, but you don't have to figure it out. You're making it too difficult when you're overthinking of how things are going to work and how things are going to unfold. This is where releasing resistance is important. You have to practice settling into the present moment, knowing you're exactly where you need to be right now. You have to be okay with where you're at right now. You have to make the best of where you're at right now. One thing will lead to the next. It'll be very natural. I feel like I missed a bunch of questions. Oh, don't say that, Sunny. I'm taking this off because I'm starting to sweat, because this is what happens when I start yapping. Don't say that, because your thoughts create your reality, Sunny. Definitely just slowing my energy down, CC, when I'm having a rough day or a rough moment. For me, it's just slowing my breathing down, focusing on my breathing, because I know the power of it. I know the power of calmness. I keep it to myself. I stay completely silent, and I know it's going to pass, and it always does. And it's not comfortable, but it passes, because you expect it to be uncomfortable. You're not afraid of it because you know it's uncomfortable. And that releases it so much quicker when you expect it to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable, but I'm not afraid of it, and I just relax into it. And when you know that it's going to be uncomfortable, but you continue to stay silent, you continue to focus on your breathing, it passes so much quicker, and you just release something that didn't serve you. And you just continue doing this practice over and over again until you release all the things that don't serve you. Not only that, you're more in control, and your life starts to get better, because all the things that are meant for you start to come in. what would you say about people who say lies? So user, you create your own reality. So you're making up that story. It's your thoughts. You're making up that story. So in those moments, you have to get calm and quiet. And you have to tell yourself that I create my own reality. There's nobody to blame but me. Not saying to blame you, because you don't realize this is all unconscious creation from our past, right? So in those moments when you feel like somebody is lying or somebody is talking about me, remember, nobody can hurt you in your reality. You hold all the control. So in those moments, you just get calm, you breathe slow, you say, nobody can hurt me in my reality. It's all me, it's all my thoughts. And that's it. And you just keep releasing that resistance and you stay calm, and you won't be experiencing that anymore when you keep doing that. Does that make sense? How do I stop torturing myself for the mistakes I've made? So it's always going to go back to that's resistance. That's an unfavorable thought, Captain America. That is an unfavorable thought that does not feel good. So when you're thinking that, when you're feeling that in that moment, you're gonna get calm. You're gonna breathe slower. You're gonna move slower. You're gonna relax into that discomfort. Like I said, it's going to be uncomfortable, and you're just gonna relax into that, and you're gonna breathe slower. And the more that you do these practices, you're gonna release that thought. You're gonna release it. And then what's on the other side of that is what you want. You'll realize there's nothing. I didn't do anything wrong. It was all unconscious. It's all unconscious creation before we knew we created our own reality. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. Yes, Ava. And the thing is that, like, something I always want to talk about is that on the other side of all that resistance is your true self, right? It's you in alignment. So when you keep releasing resistance, you fall more into alignment. You fall more into like your true authentic self and your purpose, or whatever you want to call it, you know, and your manifestations, your best life. And that is pure positive energy. That's what that is. And Captain, that's okay, because that's actually awesome, because you're accepting where you're at. Because where you're at is where you're at. Like Abraham Hicks always used to say, you know, you jump up, you take steps to move up the emotional scale, right? You take little steps to get out of it, right? So, and you might be releasing resistance by crying, by screaming, but in time you won't do that anymore, because you now know that your thoughts create your reality. You know this now. You know you're moving towards better. You know you're moving towards more, right? And you're just going to keep practicing staying calm in those moments, meditating, doing some breath work, which I highly recommend breath work as well, which is really helpful when you find yourself like in a panic or what we call a spiral or anxiety or anything at all. Do a breath work practice. Do one, and I have them on my playlists. I have check out the 3 videos, guys, that I just posted. They're really good. They're called Release Resistance. They're in my playlist, and there's 3 of them. And there's one on breath work. There's one that talks about resistance, and the other one also talks about resistance. But I think there's a question in there too. But they're really good videos. So yes, JMC, resistance is unfavorable thoughts and stories. That's all resistance is. Resistance is the unfavorable thoughts that don't serve you. It's in opposition of everything that you want. That's what resistance is. And that's why it doesn't feel good, because it doesn't serve you anymore. So Tammy, you have to, again, that's all resistance. That's all resistance. So in those moments, so you have to know that on the other side of that is your happiness, okay? And the more that you just relax in those moments, stay quiet in those moments. I always say keep it to yourself, because I know how, before we knew we created our own reality, we were venting, we were talking to others, we thought that we were getting off our chest, but it doesn't get it off your chest. It keeps it active, because then your friend's going to say, how are you doing about this topic? How's it going, right? So we don't want to speak about it to anyone, because your thoughts create your reality. So keep those moments to yourself. And that goes for your question, Tammy, because you want to keep quiet in those moments, and you'll start to feel better. You'll start to release resistance around that topic in your life, that story in your life. And you can cry. It's okay. Like, you're allowed to have those moments, but you just want to pick yourself back up again. don't stay lost in those lower energies. Cry, get it out. And then a lot of times, like for me, like I would just laugh it off and I'd feel better and I'd move on. Yeah, so like resistance, JMC, it's just, all it is the unfavorable thoughts, right? That's all it is. And what we tend to do is we react to resistance, and that keeps it active. And if we just practice releasing resistance, it'll die off. And then you'll start experiencing your manifestations and what you want. Tips on being overly attached to close family members' health. So you're saying you're worried about your family members? Okay, so yeah, so that's something you're going to create more of that, and then you're going to create anxiety around that. So try not to worry about other people. And I say this as a mother, you really can't do that, because you're only hurting yourself, right, when we do that. And we're not allowing things to just outside, like you're trying to control something too much, right? Even with my kids, I always say this, like you have to trust and let them have their own journey, let others have their own journey, right? So step back and just trust that it's all going to unfold in the best way possible. And you just wish people the best, like always. We always wish the best. We wish for people's highest good all the time. And that's you, that's you doing a service to them. So Kelsey, that is an insecurity of yours that would be popping up. That's your thoughts, because it's only your thoughts that are creating reality. So you have to just calm yourself down in those moments and laugh it off. Because Kelsey, you're always manifesting no matter what. You're always manifesting. You can't stop manifesting. So even if like, let's say like they, whether they know or don't know, you're always manifesting. You're thinking about them, they're thinking about you. We're all thinking all the time. You can't turn it off, so you should never be embarrassed by that. It's your thoughts. It depends if you want to pursue a relationship with her, Gad. If you see if you feel like that's a like potential relationship for you, then you're going to be moving towards that in this very moment. So that's up to you. That's a personal decision. Oh, thank you. And got super triggered. He could barely even look at me. How to ignore. You have to practice staying calm in those moments, Anna. You have to practice staying calm, and just really just practice releasing that resistance. There are opportunities, like triggers, which is also resistance, is an opportunity for you to practice releasing resistance, so you can become stable and secure in your energy no matter what's happening around you. Yes, I so agree. And alignment, I have always been someone to cry and then laugh right after it. Like I never was someone, I always got over things really like quickly and well. Like I would cry, release resistance, and move on. And when I first learned this, I was a little confused. I was like, can I cry? Should I not cry? Should I hold back? It doesn't matter, no matter what you do, as long as you're releasing it in some way, shape, or form. But I found that sometimes I would cry, but I would just pick myself back up again after it. That's key. Cry, you feel better, you move on from it, right? And I had plenty of times where I would say to myself, like, I want to be a victim right now. Just let me be a victim. But I also wasn't, like, that was helping me in that moment, saying that. And then I move on and I laugh and I move on. So it doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're feeling relief from it, because it's all about releasing resistance. Hi, Warner. No problem, Anna. What are my credentials? I'm a human. I need like chapstick and I don't have any up here. Aw. That's so sweet, Ava. Because you could just say, I can just tell where you're at with your comment, mindful. Like just being truthfully honest with you, like I can just tell where you're at in that comment. You have resistance. You have resistance. So you just want to keep practicing. You got to really take your focus off of it as much as you can. I have so many, I manifested so many jobs and they never made me happy. I was always moving from job to job. I can tell you right now, mindful, as soon as I stopped trying to get the job, it always came in for me, and it always came in so well. So just know that it's unfolding perfectly right now. Another thing is it's like sometimes it's okay to build up that resistance, and then once you let it go, because I feel like then it comes in so great. I always had that belief too. It'll come in. Just keep practicing releasing resistance around it. So mindful, do not try to be happy and positive. I just made a video on this. That's you trying to do something. That causes resistance when you're trying to be positive and you're trying to be happy. That will be natural and normal. You don't ever have to try to be happy and positive, right? That's just your normal state. You're only becoming aware when you don't feel happy and positive. And right there, your comment says that you're not, right? That's showing me that you have resistance. So you just have to keep, I would do meditation. Give yourself start a meditation practice. Do it before you go to bed in the morning, and maybe like throughout the day if you can. Practice quieting your mind, doing some breath work, and just keep those thoughts to yourself that this job isn't manifesting, it isn't working. And mindful, this is going to help you too. Watch my 3 videos on releasing resistance. It talks just about this. And this is what we do. We keep speaking about it. That keeps it active. This job isn't coming. I'm doing everything, but it's not happening. That is still resistance. It is what it is. You can't help it. Your thoughts create your reality. Remember that. I can't change that. So you just have to keep relaxing into that resistance. Trust me, it'll happen. It just takes practice. It really does take practice, but it's going to be the best thing you ever do for yourself is practicing releasing resistance, because it's going to change your life forever. Because when things start really rolling in for you, they're going to keep rolling in, and it's going to keep on getting better, and you're going to understand resistance so much better, and it's going to be very short-lived in your life. It's going to be in and out, because you're going to just keep moving forward to what you want. You're not going to be stuck in it like you are right now, because you're getting rid of all the things that you created unconsciously, all those thoughts, and there is a good bit of that. So give it time. Give it time. Oh, thanks, and alignment. There's like a little ant on my wall, and I'm watching it like crawl, and I'm trying to keep an eye on it. Hold on 1 second, guys. I know it's like ant season. Like the ants like come out of nowhere and they start like coming in. You find one like here and there. By feeling into it rather than resistance. By feeling into it rather than resistance and seeing things. I usually manifest by feeling into it. Okay, that's okay, Roll. That's like you do what works for you. If it's working and it's, feels good to you, definitely stick with it. What is it ideal to practice? Hail all day. What to practice, Sunny? You don't have to do anything to manifest anything. You basically want to practice. Just honestly, Sunny, the truth is you want to live your normal day. You want to live your life normal. You make the best of what you have now, even if it's not a lot. This is how I explain it. You make the best of the money you have right now, whether it be not a lot. You make the best of it. You take that little bit of money you have and you go treat yourself here and there. right? It's going to start. That's how you increase your income, is by appreciating what you have. That's how you increase everything in your life, by appreciating what you have. Your home, you appreciate your home. It may not be your dream home, but you make it look nice as you possibly can. You clean it, you clean the area, you take care of yourself, right? This is how we get more. This is how we expand and grow, is by appreciating what you do have, right? So that's what you do, okay? When you don't feel good, you're practicing resting into that resistance. You're being kind to yourself in those moments. You're being kind to others in those moments. You're just staying calm. You're staying silent. You're not speaking to anyone about it. You're keeping it to yourself. You're breathing slower. You're moving slower. You do some breath work. I don't agree with that, Warner. When you don't have to struggle, you don't have to suffer. That's a limiting belief, but I think that's from our unconscious. That's from their beliefs that don't serve us anymore. Because you're not supposed to be getting lost in that resistance, but right now we're practicing getting out of that resistance. And once you do, you won't have it like this anymore. It won't feel like a struggle. You'll just keep moving forward. And anytime you dip, it'll be quick, because you'll just be redirected quickly, because you're going to know you're going to understand resistance. You're going to understand your emotions, and you're going to be acting in higher energies. So mindful, you don't have to be perfect with making the best of what you have in the job, right? I always tell people I manifested a job from home, and I was all over the place with my thoughts at that time. And I still manifested a job from home, and I manifested getting out of that job. But I did do my best to make the best of it. I left there with, in a peaceful place with everybody. I never had anything against anyone anyway. So that's the main thing. Just do your best, mindful. Don't think you have to be perfect. Did it happen to you on your path of... Did what, Ava? Did it happen to you on your path of releasing resistance? You lost it, got impatient sometimes. Are you saying, did I get impatient? Yes. But I'm learning now more so that that's important, to be patient and to understand that there is a timing to everything, and you want these things to come in right. But I had to release resistance to truly understand that now, right? Because you want these things to come in right for you. So time won't matter when you start experiencing them. Time won't matter. You won't even think twice about how long it took, I promise you. You just have to keep practicing, releasing resistance and feeling better. Because the reason, again, like Abraham always says, the reason why you want these things is because you want to feel better, right? So you want to start to feel better now. And that's what's going to happen when you keep releasing resistance, when you keep releasing all these unfavorable thoughts. Hi, Tony. But it took me practice, just like anyone else. It didn't happen overnight. I had a lot of stuff I had to work through, a lot of unfavorable thoughts, a lot of unfavorable stories. But I'm telling you, calmness is my superpower. I would say it saved my life many times. Remaining calm and just sitting there and just breathing slow and telling myself it's going to be okay, and just being my own best friend in those moments. I say it's the same thing as if you had a friend or a child, someone close to you come up to you that needs your support in that moment. You're just going to hold space for them. You're holding space for those old thoughts, those unfavorable thoughts, those unfavorable stories. You're holding space for them in that moment, right? And you're just hanging out with them in that still energy, as still as possible. And you're just going to let them pass through you. You release them by remaining calm, Elsa. No problem, Ava. Yes, putting timing on things. That's why when everybody says time crunch, I'm like, I'm not your teacher, because I never tell anyone to manifest anything on a time crunch, because that's only going to be a temporary fix for you. It's never going to bring you happiness like you think. I love that, Sava. I love that. Yeah, it's so much. You're going to start to feel better when you do that. I have quieted my world down so much. My world is so quiet. I have kids. My kids have always been quiet anyway. They're just good, quiet kids. I was just talking about this. I have always been like, people would come in my house because I was a hairdresser and I was home with my kids and I would do hair from my home. And I had 3 little kids, and people would say, you're like, you wouldn't even know I had kids because they're a reflection of you. And I was always so quiet and calm. So like my kids were just always so well behaved. I wasn't a strict mom either, but everything's a reflection of you, even your own children. And you know, I'm saying that now because my life is just so quiet. Everything is reflecting back to you where you're at. So, and you can play a part in that by cutting a lot of things out that don't serve you anymore. I do know her. Yes, Woke. My life has been very uneventful lately, and I like it that way. Yes, Loop, right? I know. I love peace. I always have loved peace. You know, now it's like, I always thought there was something wrong with me because I just like quiet. I like to be by myself. I'm okay with just being in my home and like, you know, doing what I want to do when I want to do it. Like, okay, now I'm going to take a ride and go get myself a drink. I'm going to go to the store and make some dinner. I'm not going to cook today because I don't feel like cooking today. I just love to be able to like do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I've always been that way, but I always thought there was something wrong with me. So like I would try to adjust to what I thought that I should be doing, which was like going out more, socializing. And I am social. It's not that I'm antisocial. I'm friendly. I'm super friendly, and I have fun when I'm out and stuff like that. But I just prefer to be in. Like I actually prefer that. Hi, Thomas. Definitely, Stace. Just remember that's unconscious. It's from your past creations. It does that. If it doesn't feel good, it doesn't serve you anymore. Okay. Doesn't mean that relationship, there's not a healthy version of it. There is, but that's up to you if you want to move forward towards that. So that's a choice for you, right? Did you, Fanny? Yes, super. Same here. I can be social and going and I find peace. Yes. Sometimes it exhausts me too when I'm out and like, because I know that I'm sometimes like trying to be comfortable and I'm not always super comfortable, right? Like, and it's probably because I've changed so much, and I'm like, not that I'm not exact, like not that I'm not the same person, but I'm just like more quiet, I think, around certain things that I used to do. And I find myself exhausted even just being quiet, like I'm trying to like be something I'm not almost. When you change your self-concept for the better, do the toxic people fall off? So I just made a video on this, Miss Old Rays. I don't talk about self-concept work at all, or doing any affirmations at all in regards to your self-concept or manifesting something. I talk about releasing resistance. That's all I talk about in manifesting. It's the only thing, like that's how I teach it, that you have to do in order to manifest what you want. Releasing resistance is just releasing thoughts that don't serve you. So I don't know much about that to really give you an answer, but I assume that because it's all related, because if you're releasing thoughts that don't serve you, then you're gonna have confidence, you're gonna be secure, you're gonna be in alignment with who you are, because it's all about being in alignment with who you are, your true authentic self, right? So the more that you release those thoughts that don't serve you, then yes, everything will work in your favor. So what happens though, when with your question, to be like a little bit more on kind of how I explain it, just not so much in self-concept, what starts to happen, Miss, is that people either match you when they're around you, or they fade from your life, right? That's kind of what happens. So the more that you become in alignment with your true self, people just tend to fade out of your life. But it is a very natural process. It's not like anything you have to force. You don't have to just say, I don't want to see them anymore, right? Because that's blaming someone when we can't blame anyone, because it's only our thoughts. So like we just let those things just happen naturally the more that we become in alignment. This is moving fast. The bottom line is you gotta do what makes you happy. Yes, Thomas, definitely. The only affirmation one needs is to trust that everything. I agree. An alignment. I always used to say everything's always working out for me, and I still say it. I always say things like, I always say everything's always working out because it truly is, and you start to see that more. You don't see it at first because you're still in that victim mindset in the beginning, unconscious creations. But the more you start, feeling better and coming into alignment, you truly see that everything's literally working in your favor for your highest good and the highest good of others too. But we can't worry about others. We have to focus on ourselves, right? Because everyone has their own lives too. Everybody's creating their own realities too. We just wish everybody the best. So, Crystal, you have to focus on yourself. When it comes to relationships, the number one thing is focusing on you. You have to focus on you, and again, releasing those thoughts that don't serve you, right? Because that's what created the breakup, was unfavorable thoughts, resistance. So you want to practice releasing resistance. Know that what you want is done, and you're moving towards it in this very moment. Crystal, you're moving towards it in this very moment, but it's done. So you don't have to do anything in regards to that. It's already done. You're just practicing releasing resistance. You're releasing all the thoughts that don't serve you around that. And remember, they don't feel good. So whenever you don't feel good in regards to this topic and any topic in your life, because you want to move toward your best life, not just this best relationship, you want to relax into that resistance. Breathe slower. Keep it silent. Keep it to yourself those moments. Do some breath work and just let it pass through you. Tony. Yes, pretty much. Because resistance is everything that doesn't serve you. It's all your unconscious creations. Unfavorable unconscious creations, because not everything you created is bad. Not everything from your past is bad, right? I created my animals and my kids, and they're all awesome. Yes, Thomas. And I know for a lot of people, for me, that was always hard. I was always a people pleaser. So I would always say, I'm just going to go to that thing because I don't want them to be mad at me. And I have gotten so good at saying, no, I don't want to go because I don't want to go. Because then I'm hurting myself, right? You just want to be adopted? I don't know where to put you. We're gonna have a full house. Well, you can come to my private Facebook group for now. I got a lot of kids. For now, it's the private Facebook group. Let's just pretend. Yes. I'm just seeing if I missed anything. I'm just seeing the adoption comments. Is it possible that I've already manifested but received it yet? Is it possible that I've already manifested but not received it yet? Mike, just remember that, really understand, right, that every possible reality exists in this very moment. So yes, it's done. It's unfolding in this very moment, but the story's already written, so you don't have to do anything in regards to that. You're just practicing releasing resistance. That's it. That's all you're doing. And just allowing it to unfold. But if you're not experiencing yet, then, you're only going to know if you received it, right? You're going to know. A lot of times, for me, certain, depending on the manifestation itself, you do see somewhat of it unfolding. You feel it internally as well. Because the more you practice releasing resistance, guys, the more you are in touch with how you feel. So you're knowing where you have resistance. You're clear as day when something pops up and you're like, crap, this feels heavy. This feels uncomfortable. And that's giving you a moment to just relax into that and practice that. Again, that's what it means to feel your way through life, right? You want to feel your way through life. You don't want to think your way through life because everything's already done. It's already written. You're going to get there so much better in the best way possible when we let it happen, not make it happen. That's again why I don't do affirmations. I don't do anything to manifest. I don't do anything at all. Because the more that I let go of resistance, everything unfolds for me in ways that it feels like unbelievable. Like this is my life, like what's happening. So just trust me, make it more about just releasing resistance. Everything will unfold very naturally and in the best way possible for you. And it's actually so extremely simple. It's so simple, but here's the thing. You know why we do things? We think we have to take action. You know why we think we have to even do affirmations? Because we're such action-oriented beings before we knew this. But we're unlimited, and this is supposed to be easy. So easy, right? And this can be as easy as you want it to be. So that's why we jump into doing things. Oh my God, I got to do these affirmations. I got to figure out how to live in the end. I got to start doing something right now. But you actually got to do the total opposite. You got to do nothing. You got to do nothing but release resistance. Less is best. Relax. Like Abraham ain't kidding when she's saying, relax more. Lay out in the sun more. Meditate more. Go for rides more in your car. Pet your animals more. Be kinder to others. Be kind to yourself. That's the work. That is the work. Everything else will take care of itself. She ain't kidding when she says that. We just can't comprehend that really that's all we have to do is relax more. Yes, you keep releasing resistance. And again, when anything's uncomfortable, that's resistance. And we just relax into it. And you have to know that it's going to be uncomfortable, right? Because what happens is when it's uncomfortable, we get afraid. So we start reacting. We panic more. And then we start thinking about it more and we start worrying more. But in those moments, you just want to breathe slower, move slower, and say, I know this is uncomfortable. I get it. I hear you. I see you right now. Hold space for that in that moment. Don't try to figure anything out because you don't have to. Just keep, even if it's, I like to say this, even if there is a story going on in your mind in that moment, it's not manifesting or picking up momentum when you're just really getting super duper mega calm. It's not going to manifest. It's not going to pick up momentum. There may be a story playing out. You may be trying to kind of figure something out a little bit, but I can promise you right now, you're going to feel it in your body when you're so calm that it's not going to manifest. It's still going to work in your favor, I promise you. So don't be afraid that there is a thought going on in your mind, but when you're so calm and your body's so calm and you're practicing, you're focused more on that calmness, even though there is a story happening, it's not going to manifest. So the key is calmness. Calmness is key. I'm in, Sonny. I love it. Why does your tongue look blue? Like, really? Come on now. Come on now. Why are you looking at my tongue like that? And have our own private resort. Yeah, right, Sonny? I always say that, like, you know, that's me. I want to, like, I just want to be in the middle of nowhere. Like, put me in the middle of nowhere where I have to drive out a little far to go. Because I'm from Philly, so I'm like in the city. I always have said from being so young that I don't ever feel like I fit in here. I never felt like I belonged in the city. Like, I belong in the middle of nowhere. I have the most quietest, like where I am now in Philly, like I moved to a really quiet little area, so it is really quiet, but I do have a neighbor next to me, and I have another one, but she's further away, and she's the sweetest, quietest neighbor, and yet I'm still like, I don't want a neighbor. Like and she's so sweet, and I'm like super kind to her, obviously, but I'm always like, I just don't want any neighbors around me. I want complete emptiness. You will raise your energy when staying calm. Yes, Ava. Did someone ask about that? That's exactly what happens. When we calm our minds and we quiet our thoughts, your energy automatically raises. That's why it's going to work in your favor. So like I said, even when that thought's going on in your mind, don't worry about it. If you're staying as calm as possible and you're like, it's uncomfortable, but you're staying so calm, even though you're trying to figure something out because that thought is just trying to take over and trying to make you figure it out, it's still going to work in your favor if you're staying calm. Yes, woke. I used to do that all the time when I was at my job. I was the breathwork queen. I had a mask on, but like nobody knew I was doing it. I didn't care. I had to do it because I had a lot of resistance at that time. That's when everything kind of flipped upside down for me. When I started learning this information, I always tell people I was like speeding through timelines. I know, I've never been to an Abraham seminar, like anything like that. How is momentum built for the desire if we constantly remain calm? Yes, yeah, so when you're constantly remaining calm, what you're doing, 5D, is you're releasing what doesn't serve you. So on the other side of what doesn't serve you, 5D, is all your manifestations. It's everything that does serve you, right? But it's on the other side of what you don't want is what you do want. Just always remember that. So that's why the only thing you have to do, 5D, is release resistance. So when you're staying calm, you're releasing everything that doesn't serve you. And on the other side of that is everything that does serve you. And that's going to that's going to come in very natural. Because remember, you only have to feel good to manifest everything that you want. You're only creating a feel-good atmosphere within, right? So you don't have to worry about that because when you feel good, you feel good. You're not thinking about anything. You're not worried about anything. That's natural. I'm more focused on you guys making it about relaxing into resistance, catching those moments when you don't feel good. Catch those moments more. Yes, and alignment. I'll tell you what, and that is the truth. I've had many breakthroughs where, you know, like it was before something was going to happen pretty big. But guess what? I knew it was happening. I was well aware because I've been manifesting for so long and I've released so much resistance that I'm aware of kind of what's manifesting for me. And yes, I would have like that breakthrough moment where I had a lot of resistance the day before, but I knew what was happening and I would have like a cry. I would let it go because it is a new things that are happening for you. These are new things that, like, you know, the person 2 years ago, you never would have thought that this would have been able to happen for you. And sometimes you think back and you're like, oh my gosh, I've come so far, but I don't, try not to stay back there too much because you don't want to relive that either. How do we get where we want to be? So Claire, how you get to where you want to be is knowing that you're doing that now. It's unfolding right now, but it's very gradual, Claire. It's not an overnight thing. You don't want it to be an overnight thing. You want it to be gradual. You want to start to feel good now. You want to release resistance now because you want these things because you want to feel good. So you want to feel good now. And how you do that is you release resistance. You release all the thoughts that don't serve you now. You practice that. No problem, 5D. Hi, Matt. I just seen you pop on there. I can't even explain how many miracles happen. Breath work is so powerful, Ava. It is so powerful. Oh yeah, I know where Cherry Hill is. I have a lot of family members in Cherry Hill actually. Just deep breaths to remain calm. Yeah, so not just deep breaths, but like even just focusing on your breathing in that moment, right? Put your attention and focus. Is your name Hi, I'm HHB? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but just focusing on your breathing, just relaxing your body think about what calmness is, just relaxing your body, right? Focus on your breathing. Tell yourself everything's okay. Know that it may be uncomfortable for a little bit. That's going to help you. That's going to help you release resistance in those moments, and release it quickly the more that you practice that. But if I'm calm and trusting, I shouldn't have anxiety. I don't know what you mean by that. You may still have discomfort, and that is anxiety. It takes practice. I still have moments where something comes up and I have that uncomfortable feeling, but I understand it and I release it pretty quickly. But that is anxiety. This takes practice. It takes practice to practice releasing resistance. No, Ava, I just like the idea of not having like anyone around me, and just a quiet space with a lot of land and like in the middle of nowhere. It just sounds and feels so peaceful to me. I think because I'm okay with like being alone, like I resonate with that more so than busy neighbors, you know what I mean? Like, and I've experienced that, right? So I don't know, I just resonate with that. And just being able to drive out somewhere to get what I need to get. I don't know, I just like the idea of that for some reason. I grew up with my family all very close to me. And I love my family to death. But but I'm not attached in a way where like I could never just leave and pick up and leave either, though. Because they're always going to be my family no matter what, right? Yes, Matt. Me too. Yes, BB. I always have been. I always have been. My whole life I've always, maybe because I was like the only girl, I had brothers, so I was always like by myself a lot. I always had like just one friend. I did not, at a young age, I never wanted a lot of friends because I never liked drama. I always thought it was a lot of work. So I've always been this way. I've always been like this. I've always been very aware of my surroundings. I've always been extremely quiet and extremely shy. Yes, and alignment. It's the truth. It is really practicing it. Right? And alignment. Oh, that's a good one, BB. I love people. I do. I love people. I love talking to people. I'm, very friendly and social. I always have good relationships with people. I just also love being alone. I don't need to be around people. I know that sounds like weird, but I don't need it. Yes, Ava, and I think I've always been that way, even as a child. So I used to say at very young, like if anyone was being mean to me, I used to know that it wasn't about me. I knew that at such a young age. I knew it wasn't about me because, you know why? Because I never did anything. I never spoke. I was always so quiet. So if I knew if someone didn't like me, that it wasn't about me. So I always knew that at a young age. So I think I don't know, I had that awareness at a young age. Yes. And I was the peacemaker of my house, always. Like if my brothers were ever in a bad mood, I was always trying to get them out of a bad mood. I always wanted everybody to be happy. I never wanted anybody to ever be sad or angry. It makes me I just put two and two together of where I'm at right now and what I'm doing. And I used to always, I always had good relationships with people. And I always had pretty positive thoughts about myself and others. So whenever I had people in my life that seemed like they didn't have, like they were struggling with certain areas of their life, I used to say in my mind, I wish I could help them. I wish I knew a way to help them. Like I used to say things like that because I did like I wouldn't understand like, why do I have good things in my life and why don't they? Like what, like not knowing your thoughts create your own reality, because you didn't know that. I didn't know that then, right? I know it had something to do with it, but I try to go live every day, JT. I do try to jump on here every day. Aw. And my biggest thing when it came into learning this was trying to make this as simple as possible. Like there's got to be an easy way. And it's so easy for me to cut things out of my life and to really clean my energy up, which makes me really get to the bottom of how easy this really is. And I'm even still not like stepping away from certain things and just making it about, now I'm like so focused on writing my books and, you know, helping others as much as I can and just making this as simple as possible. Aw, thanks, Matt. But I always like to say, Ava, like I know people will say like you're a healer or you're this or you're that. But like I love what Abraham says, and she says like everybody has access to this energy. Oh, that paused on me. Oh, my phone's gonna die. Right? We all have access to this. So it's not like it's not just here for me, right? It's here for everybody. Everyone has access to it. It's just finding a way to access it, right? So right now, I don't want to say that wrong. Escape. Right now, the most recent one that I'm working on is going to be all about releasing resistance. The one that I just released is Feel Good, Stay Calm to Manifest. That's the one I just released. It's an ebook. This next ebook, I got a twitch in my eye. It's driving me crazy. This ebook is going to be just all about specifically about releasing unfavorable thoughts. Okay, DJ Fire Escape. Yes. And it's all about releasing resistance. I'm telling you, that's all it comes down to. Once you master releasing resistance, you're going to be like manifesting so fast. Oh, nice to see you too, Mike. I'm going to head out though, guys, because my phone's going to die. Should be out living life. No, you know what, 5D? I used to think that too for a while. I would go back and forth and, you know, and then I would like here and there, and I'd be like, you know what, it's not as fulfilling as I thought it was. Like I've changed so much, and like I'm just so happy where I'm at now and where I'm going to. So I used to think that too, like should I be doing more? And honestly, take advantage of this time if you have created space for yourself to like have that quiet time and go within and work with this resistance as much as possible. Start a simple, easy meditation practice that you can take with you throughout the day, you know, before you go to bed, when you wake up and stuff like that. And, you know, just keep your mind as quiet as possible, because that's what's really going to help you manifest. Because when you're meditating and you're quieting your thoughts, you're cleaning out all the junk that doesn't serve you. And the stuff that does serve you will be automatic. You don't have to do anything in regards to that. It's so much easier than we're taught. But I'm going to jump off because I'm kind of like, my throat's a little sore here and it's going to die. But I'll jump back on tomorrow, guys, okay? Everybody have a really good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Bye, Christine. Bye, BB. Bye, In Alignment. Good night, Sunny. Good night, 5D. Bye, guys. Bye, Ava. Yous are all awesome. Love you guys.